Hey, I'm the Terrific Tracy, and this is going to be a brief overview of Hello Kitty no Ohanabatake for the Famicom. I am making this for the Salsa Shacks event, but specifically for anybody else who may want to try this game. It's not the most daunting game to learn on this system. In fact, I say it's pretty relaxing, but there are a few mechanics to learn, and then a few levels that are really tricky, but hopefully I can try breaking them down to a manner that's easier to grasp. Start this in the beginning. So the timing would start on hitting start and whatnot. And once you hit start, there's like a cutscene, so you have to hit start again. And then this pops up, and you have to hit start yet again. So you kind of hit start like 3 times in a row, but like from powering off, you have to be careful to like not overmash or like you end up pausing it, but that's fine. It's not really gonna ruin anything if you do that. Just as a note. But yeah, I'm also gonna be using save states to go through things to help it go more smoothly. So I'll go ahead and actually get those set up. But yeah. So in this game, it's a bit weird. Your main objective is just water every plant in every level. There are 18 levels. The way that they chose to go about, nice. If I could break it down, the way they chose to go about how watering works is actually pretty neat. I think it's a lot better than the alternative where you might think, okay, I'm supposed to water all these plants, so I have to water them all for so or so amount of seconds, or like frames, or however the game counts it, but no. You only have to water it 4 times. There's a cooldown, you hit it with the water once, and wait, hit it again, and wait, hit it again, and wait, and then you hit it the final time, and some plants will give a power-up, or something useless, upon watering it fully. This one drops a strawberry, and the strawberry is really nice because it is like invincibility. It's like getting the star in Mario and whatnot. So you take it and knock out everything. Some of the levels where it appear on, we will be using it, but the first one's not necessary, but you can totally grab it though if it makes you feel comfortable at all. The way I do this level preferably is that I water the very first plant all the way up. And then I water the second plant 3 times and then go. And it may or may not make you a bit nervous with how close the enemies can get sometimes when watering these. But yeah, you take it upon yourself to change it to your needs. So yeah, I'll fall back down here and grab that. And then depending on if I hit the nice. Okay, there's a few things happening all at once. I hit the beach ball in a way, like, the beach ball is a weird enemy because when you hit it, it bounces back and forth, and depending exactly on where you hit it, it will literally, like, interact with the level collision differently, and sometimes it'll fall down lower than it usually does, which can change things up, so that happened for one, and then secondly, unfortunately, this is a game where, again, we're watering plants, but there is a glitch that prevents you from watering plants, and I did trigger it on accident. It's a bit odd to describe, like, it's like I both know how it's triggered, so I could purposely pause it, but not really, but I also know how to avoid it, but it can still be hard to do so, depending on what's happening, so it's like when you water something, you know, you want the hitbox for your watering can to be, like, directly on the plants. But sometimes, like, if you pass through the plot really oddly, like, say I'm coming at this angle or something. Actually, I think that literally did it. I passed through it at a weird angle or something goofy happens. What I think is going on is that the flower pot, it probably, like, however the game works, it probably detected that your water hit the plant, but because it came at a weird angle, it didn't actually register it for some reason. Like, it doesn't actually grow. but it does register it, and therefore it hits you on the cooldown that which you like have to wait. So like, something like that is my best assumption. I have no real clue though, but it's kind of lame when it happens. So just try to be careful is all I can say. And again, for the most part, a lot of these levels they can be really straightforward. If you want to change up the way you go about them, feel free to. But I'm positive most of what I do will be, aside from dying, will be ideal. Just again, change however you need. Realistically, if I wanted to, on this plant, I could hit the enemy because I have to wait. It's totally not a time loss to stop and hammer anything that comes in my path. Also, speaking of watering, my input display is on, but in case it seems awkward or not, A is jump, B is hammer, and then you hold down to water, which sounds like it would be really bad, but it actually works out fine enough. Yeah, I'm finally going to move on to the next level because I'm actually going to talk about how I time watering, because we have a plant in the air, and you don't want to just keep jumping at it. You want to count down? I like to count down by 3s, and specifically I will listen for like the sound effect of the watering can. So you hear it like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. However you want to do it. I'll hit it. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 3. And yeah. So this level is one where I can imagine you may want to take a different route through it, just in case you find this jump I'm doing at the start to be a little daunting, which will especially be changed if you happen to get the watering glitch on this plant. As you see here, something else I need to explain. We didn't have these platforms in the first level, but they appear throughout most of the game. These all go around on cycles, and your hammer is good at dealing with enemies, but they also act as, like, I don't know, switches or whatever for these platforms, if you can actually manage to hit the platform under you with it. The hitbox on the hammer is really weird. At least for enemies, it can hit above you and a little below you, but for platforms, they have to be in a very specific spot. If you're too far forward, you'll miss. So you want to be really precise with it. So I water this. That probably looked really scary. I don't have to, like, if I'm that far ahead, I don't have to actually jump out that far. As long as I don't wait for it to come too close to me, it won't ruin the cycle. So, like, this is fine. Just adjust accordingly. So I water this one 3 times, hit the snail, hit the 4th time, jump on that, jump up here, water this 3 times, hit whatever this creature is. I think it's supposed to be a butterfly, but it totally does not look like one. A very strange red butterfly. Finish watering that, and then you can just walk straight off, but if you don't feel comfortable, you can also just jump over that enemy. And yeah, again, like, the hitboxes are a little weird. Like, I let them get close to me. If you don't feel comfortable, switch sides or hit them. Anyways, on to level 3. This one seems a little confusing at first, because there's gonna be, like, cycles here. So you wanna let that platform rise above the flower pot, like this, before you hit it. So, like, I'll go ahead and do that again. Jump up to it, pass above it, hit it, water it on the way down, jump up to it, pass above it, get it, and then just go. Hit this. Do the same thing here, except just wait for it to go back up a little bit and then jump into it. on my splits, I put in the parentheses. I put in the time at the end of the countdown, or on the timer when it stops. Because I do think the end-game time is a good way of tracking like how fast you're doing it. So I put in what my goals are there. But yeah. Also, what I just went through there was a bonus round. You can just die on every bonus to skip it. It's great. But then afterwards, you get like a little brief cutscene or whatever. So you have to hit start like twice again, like at the start of the game. Okay, so we're in 4 now. In 4. The trickiest thing I'd have to say is at the start right here, where this platform is like, it's going to be on a cycle where if you don't hit it, you're going to have to wait after watering the plant. And there's 2 different spots you can hit it at, but both of them are slightly tricky for different reasons, so I'll cover those now. So like what I usually do when I come in is I water it once, hit it as it's starting to pass above me, and then finish watering it. And then, like, if I finish watering it, like, right away, then I have to jump, and then I'll make it on it. But if I'm a little too slow, I'll miss it. But the pro to doing this is that these enemies are lined up in a really nice way. Also, I, don't think the orange did appear in the last level, but I didn't get it. The orange freezes every enemy. The strawberry, once you knock them out. But yeah, the orange is really good, too, when you can get it. They're the most useful power-ups. Everything else either does nothing or it's just an extra life. But yeah, so there's that. So I finished with a 65 on the timer, and my desired time was a 66, which is just fine. Like, sometimes if you're doing it at your best, you'll probably get, like, maybe, like, a second off in-game. But it's still pretty good if you can do that. But yeah, let me go back. So I was messing around, and I found that earlier I could water it twice, and then hit it all the way up there, which, like, that's the case of, that's a case of the hitboxes being funny for the hammer, with like how far up it stretches or not. But yeah, you could do that if getting onto the platform the other way I showed is too hard. Just the only con to that is that the enemies... It's like a tad slower, and that the enemies at first are like not lined up in a way where you can avoid them in a efficient manner without hammering them. But yeah, that's like 3 seconds off the in-game time, but it should be easier, hopefully. But yeah, it's not that big a deal. Just whatever you can do. Like, honestly, literally, as long as you can play this game and avoid dying, it doesn't really matter how you go about watering the plants at all. You can still get a really fast time with that. Like, you'll probably get like a 14 with enough practice if you just don't die, like, if that's your priority. And then the rooting wouldn't really matter until after you want to fix up things, after you can finish the game without dying. But even then, yeah. Some of the stuff I will go for will be harder in some of the later levels, so I would suggest alternatives that you find. Yeah, I kind of just talked my way over 5 without saying anything about it, and that's because I think 5 is a really easy level. Like, I never forget this one. After learning it, I water that one 3 times, make sure I hit that on my way through, water this twice, hit the ball, finish watering that, get on, rolls out, water this. I don't know, this one is just really straightforward. I think this one should be easy to pick up if any of the prior levels were troublesome. There is, like, when you're watering, and it's, like, actually hitting something, you do have to wait a bit, so it can seem scary if you, like, can't act immediately, but luckily, again, you'll just get used to the spacing, or, like, you'll stop sooner, like, as long as you take it safe enough. So I get this orange here to freeze the ball in place. This plant drops a life if you want it, but there is, like, generously, unlike many NES games, there is no real penalty for game overing. So you can just keep retrying from the level you're on. If you happen to die enough to game over, you don't have to go back to the start. So if you want that extra life, you can take it, but you probably won't need it, even if you will die later. Just because of that. Doesn't really make any major difference at all. I think it's really easy to skip through the game over screen if I can recall. But yeah. Also, again, I did talk kind of through this level after the start. It is straightforward. Oh yeah, be careful at the start to not fall onto it in a weird manner because that will trigger the watering glitch sometimes. So I just try to like stay like on a path straight down. Yeah. Water this. Water this like about 3 times or however many it takes. I'm pretty sure just 3. Yeah, and then jump onto that. The ball will get in your way probably too. So then you just gotta move. Water it twice, hit the squirrel, come back. This, jump over the ball, and yeah, it should be just fine. So that should be stage 6. And yep, going on to the next bonus. Just walk into the ball. Skip this. 7 here. 7 is funny because if you're like subconsciously opening every level by just walking straight right, that can be fine sometimes. But other times you will just want to wait and just like fall straight down, or like it would really depend. This is a level where you can hold right, but you're gonna land on this platform. And that's totally okay, except you can't keep holding right, because if you just keep holding right, you're gonna land on this platform and you're gonna run right into that enemy. So you hold right, and you land on it, and you jump immediately. That's your opening move. And in case like you keep forgetting that, because I've definitely like thrown myself a lot and runs in the past by just running into this one, you can just fall straight down, jump under it, and still get up here, and really there's like no time difference at all because you have to wait for the platform anyway. So that is completely fine too, whatever method you want to take. But you're gonna get that strawberry, and you're gonna take out the ball with it. You're gonna water this one. Also, at the start, as we saw when I passed through the snail from underneath while swinging my hammer, the hitbox is extremely generous above me. So don't be afraid to just do that. So that's pretty much 7. 8 here. 8 is the easiest level. Look at this. There's no risk here at all. As long as I wait on the right once I get here. Like, literally, just jump. Jump. It doesn't matter where you jump right here, you will never run into that. You will never run into the ball. You can run into those, but you have to try really hard to hit the flying enemies. But yeah, you will never run into this ball, ever. You're totally fine. No fear. Hold right. Go along. Everything is fine. Yeah, not really gonna discuss much here. Very funny that they made this level at all. Level 9, though, this one is a tad complicated. So this ball is coming in, and it is a big nuisance if you cannot get rid of it entirely. And again, like in the first level, where I said, like, depending on where you hit the ball from, in some places it'll bounce around and maybe fall down to a lower point. If you hit this ball, like right over the center of the line that the platform there is going up and down across, it should end up falling all the way down and then into the pit, and it like just dies pretty much, you could say. That's the best outcome. So it should fall in there now. Yeah, so it's gone. That's just what you want. If it stays around, then it's gonna get back up, and it's gonna come all the way over while you're trying to water this plant and get in your way, and it's really annoying. But yeah, so as we saw, you can just walk straight off the platforms there and land onto the moving one on the right, and then just jump off of it as soon as you land on it, and that's fine. But I'll go back over this again. It can probably be a little tricky to learn how to, like, swing the hammer into things as you're moving, because the hitbox on it, it can be generous, but also still a little weird. Also, I totally messed something up. I don't even know what I did there. I did something wrong with the enemies up there, I think. Kind of zoned out. I do think I hit that one, or at least it's totally okay too. And, yeah. So just fall onto it, water this. When you pass like partway through the pots, when you're on a platform like this next to some, is when you want to hit it, and then you like, as you pass back through the other side, you'll end up watering it. But yeah, it can take a while to get used to 9. So we're on to 10 here, and 10 at the start is a tad tricky, I would say. The platform coming down, ideally you want to land on it and then hammer it to go back up. But you, like, at that point where I hit it at, it pretty much came all the way down to the bottom, so it was going to go back up anyway, so at that point it wasn't useful. But also, the shadow of the platform next to Kitty's head, as soon as her head meets that, you can just like jump to it. And I stay on the right like this, because if I get on a good cycle... Oh yeah, that can happen. That actually didn't happen earlier when I was practicing. If you're all the way on the right, like really far, the platform can actually steal you away, so be careful. Like, I like to be on the right because it does help out. So let's try this again. I can't even tell if I hit that at the right time, but maybe I did. But yeah. So watering this, this plant's gonna drop an orange, which can be useful. Okay, nice. So I wasn't there fast enough. If you're fast enough, you can just walk straight right and then land onto the platform and be fine. But you also may want the orange, depending on how you want to go about this level. I think... I don't know. I was trying to practice the different ways I could go through it earlier, but it was really hard to actually demonstrate some of the slower methods. But again, if you feel like you'd be comfortable with the orange, go ahead and get it. But yeah, at that point, I could have walked off. Nice. I could have walked off the platform and been fine. But if you don't feel comfortable just walking straight off, you can jump onto it too. But yeah, if you grab the orange, it'll make the ball bounce back and forth and like never hit you. Or at least until it like gets back up. It will eventually get back up. But if you feel like trying it the way I'm going for here, oops, then when you hit the platform to reverse it, oh my gosh, it will it'll oddly, like, I don't know, like, I actually never knew this until I came into this specific level and saw this for the first time. Oh my god, I need to stop messing around. The hitbox for the hammer seems to linger around a little bit longer than I would have expected. Like, that's just not something you get to see very often, ever. So it's like, I use it on the platform. I use it on this platform here. Oh, sometimes it passes to you. Honestly, if it passes to you, that gives me a chance to talk about the case where you don't hit it. Oh yeah, when there's two plants back to back, you just want to water them like that. Like, just keep alternating. Yeah, if you get the orange, or if like you manage to miss the ball somehow, if you just don't die but the ball comes back, just you know, simply guard yourself like that. It'll be fine. Just figure out your own way of going about 10, but just be careful. Anyways, in 11 here, the platform below you is needed to reach this one, so be careful to not like hold right and whatnot. You have to wait on that. But you only need to land on it. As soon as you do, you can just like move over and then start watering these, and then hit the squirrel. So you hit the left plant first. As soon as the left plant finishes watering, grab the strawberry out of it, and then just move through the squirrel, and then just wait up here. On that platform below that I landed on, I do like to hit it to get it moving sooner. And also, this is a very good place to talk about hitboxes, because as you can see, the sprites are already really tiny. But absurdly, like, their actual hitbox must be smaller than their sprite, because this is completely absurd. I didn't realize this. So if you feel like you're standing on this platform and you have to like jump to avoid this enemy at all, like, don't even try. You'll probably die from doing that, honestly. So just like water it. Don't worry about it at all. You're completely fine. It is no problem. 12 here, however, like how I mentioned in 7, it's a level where you can hold right to get onto the platform, but unlike in 7, you definitely want to do that here. It is very important. It's one of the 2 levels where you're going to want to hold right immediately and get on the platform. Don't hold it for too long though. Hold right just a little bit, and then use your hammer to get that. Oops. Because if you don't, you're going to have to wait and go back down, and then all the way back up. Which can still work out, but you just get better cycles here if you do it this way. So hit the squirrel, water this, it's gonna drop an orange, we're gonna get that. This right here, you have 2 ways of going across that. You can do what I just did, where you walk off the edge and then land on the first platform and jump to the other one. You can do that if you feel comfortable with that. Sometimes though, like I don't know how to describe the way this game treats inputs. It's not like they get eaten, but like sometimes you can land on a platform like that and just like slide straight off the other side without getting your jump out. Like it's really weird. If you're worried about that, you can just jump straight from the green platform all the way to the right, and you will land on the blue one and be fine. You just gotta jump again. Yeah. So again, the plant above me, you water that. Don't worry about the enemy above you. It's just like in the previous level. Grab the other orange and then go down there and go to the right, and you'll be fine. So, 12 may be a little tricky at first, but it should be easy after you understand all that. 13. 13 is the next level. So like you're back to back. You go from 12, hold right, hammer the platform, enter the bonus, and then remember you get to 13, and then you gotta hold right again. Except, unlike in 12, where you only hold right just a little bit to land on the platform, you have to hold all the way until you land on this one. A little longer. Hold it, hammer it. Careful to actually... There you go, water it. Water it once on the right. Jump up here, start watering this one. I'm surprised that hit at all. That should not have hit, but the hitboxes are strange. I feel like I messed it up, but essentially the idea is to water it in that fashion, like jump back down there and then hit the platform. Oops, I messed this up a little bit. Let me just start over. Okay, now this is looking more normal. Except I think I did the watering glitch. I either did the watering glitch or I missed it. Oops. Gotta be a little careful. To go above the plant. As soon as you start to go below the platform, you can go back. Water this 3 times. Walk off while watering, go below the platform, meet the right side of that platform, go below this one, and then yeah, go back. That should be simple, hopefully, once you get that. This level, I think, is one of the hardest if we're gonna do it the way I try to do these. Also, never hold right here. If you hold right, you will fall straight down. So be very, very conscious of how you start these levels. I swear, I am only speaking from experience. It can be really easy to get stuck into the idea that, oh, I have to hold this way or that way when starting the levels. Do not get mixed up. But yeah, when this starts, jump to water the plant. Nice. Okay, we're just gonna do it from the start. Jump to water it. Make sure you hit this. Don't. The only downside of the fact that down is water is that sometimes you're hitting a direction with it and it can feel a tad slippery. You want to be really careful. It's just so easy to hit another direction and move when you want to be still. Oops, I did not need to hit the platform. You're going to want to stay far right onto this when you're going to hit it, so you don't hit the platform. Turn around and hit it. As soon as you water it on the way down, jump over. This is the hard part. You're gonna want to water this 3 times, and then get onto that. If you miss it, then I guess it's fine, ultimately. Just, like, be careful to not die. Your best. For these cycles, though, I prefer you be really careful. Yeah, that's good. I actually watered it. It can be really easy to miss. Nice. I triggered the glitch. It can be really easy to miss or trigger the glitch on that plant. It is absolutely annoying. Not want to do that. Okay, good. Then go... wait. And yeah, that's basically how I end up finishing it. Let's see. 63 on 14. Good enough. Yeah, that's always gonna need some practice. It's pretty difficult. This level, at the start, for the cycles I like to get, is really dumb, so I also don't recommend trying to go for the fastest thing here, unless you really want to push for it, because the dumb thing is that this one starts, you hammer, you wait a little bit, and then you jump. And you want to really make it over there. Sometimes it is easy to do if you wait a little more, and then you hit this and go back and forth. But yeah, no. I think regardless, even if you're not going to jump early, you do want to hammer the platform. Honestly, it doesn't seem like the cycles in this level would get that ruined if you mess it up at the start. You just lose a little bit of time for not getting over to the second plant sooner, but the rest of the plants are all fine. This level is honestly simple beyond that. When you're coming back down here, you're gonna want to hit that, and then go back up. And then, yeah. Oh, also, if I could explain, the enemy here is actually one who can hurt you for once. Do not just stand there on the platform. Do not just stand here on the left side, you will get hurt. So yeah, he's gonna be careful with that. So yeah, that'll get you 60. That is good enough. Perfect. But again, don't worry about the jump at the start. Fall into this pit. And now we're on to the last set of levels, so we're honestly almost already done. So hopefully, if the game has felt easy to get the hang of, that's good. These levels, though, are gonna get really ridiculous, like, right away, so... First thing here, this plant might be the hardest to water optimally. Like that right there, I missed my cycle. It really helps a lot to get this cycle, but again, it is really difficult. You have to come in watering this thing right away. Like, near perfect. You want to land on this. Oh, I actually got it. Wow, I didn't get that at all in practice earlier. Ironically, I got it and then messed up the next plant, so now the cycles are off. But yeah, it is really important with the way that these move around. Because if you do it just right, then this will be in a position that helps you get down there easier. Now, jumping from that platform over to this one over here might seem daunting, but honestly, if there's a big open space like that where the flying enemies all the way to the left and this snail's all the way to the right, then you're completely free to do so. Probably not going to get it from the top. But honestly, this is the next best thing. Like, you don't really care about getting the first plant perfectly if you just purposely wait to water it like that. Like you hammer the platformer that goes to the corner. This is good. Oh, I jumped to it. I can see it. Oops. So yeah, water it 3 times. Jump on it. Hammer that. Water it again. Water this. This does drop an orange, which I used to think it was useful, but I also thought it was unnecessary because the way it froze the enemies actually seemed like it was in my way more often than not. Also, I think I just got the same thing. Oh well. That's like kind of close to how I had it before when I jumped the other way. I don't know what I was getting at. I think only if you get the really fast cycle on the first plant can you ride on the platform downwards without waiting on it. So just don't worry about it. Like, again, as long as you don't die, that's the more important thing. But speaking of dying, I'm gonna use that to reset the level cycles. This is definitely going to be the most daunting level starting off. Like, this one is ridiculous. You want to try so hard to not die here, but there's like no flooring at all. Also, hammering these is very important. It makes getting up here a lot easier. It both makes getting up here easier, and then also the second platform I was on that's down there below me, where I hammer that at is very important because it helps set it up. Because I'm going to jump right back down to it right now. And where I hammer over these pots is also very important, like as I'm passing by. Because all of that keeps me in sync. And that was essentially like what I got a 53 and I was looking for a 54. So that was like nearly perfect. But again, so like, that looks really daunting, I'm sure. So yeah, it's gonna take a lot of practice. And if you end up like not getting these cycles, just really do your best to try not to die. Like no matter how long it takes. Also, I totally messed it up. Nice. I wasn't going to miss that, but I hit this one too early. Also nice. That sucks a lot. You want to make sure you get every single plant, like, twice. Although, honestly, now that I think about it, you have a bit of extra time. If you miss the second one on your first pass through, that's probably fine. But this one, you want to get twice, for sure. Oops. Okay, well, I missed it. So you see... Wow, okay, I barely made that. I was like as far as you could do it. Like, as far apart as you can make it. So that is really, really tough. And honestly, I'm in a bad spot because I didn't get to water this one sooner, so I'm gonna miss another one on that. Although, realistically, I think that's fine too. You could totally recover from that, I think. I don't know, I'm gonna have to actually see how this is gonna work out. No, that did not work in my favor at all. I was wrong, because I'm falling down here and I missed that one up there. So yeah, this is not good, but if you did miss this one, though, it would be possible to fix it. Don't miss any other ones, though. And again, I did mess up hammering this earlier, so it basically, as we can see, it can be really easy for this entire level to get out of hand if you don't do it right. So either try your best, do it as I do, or take as much time as you need to not die, whichever of the two you will prioritize. Like to stand on the corners as I pass over these helps me personally. As I pass through the power pot, I will hammer and go back. Water to the left, water to the right, pass to it, hammer and go back. I will sometimes pass through that all the way, or I will pass through only a little bit. Also nice, I started the walk off, and she started to fall, but then watered it. Be careful, don't rely on that. If you start the walk off, and your hitbox misses, you are dead. So be careful. That was really risky. But yeah. That's the general gist of how I would cover those cycles easily, though, except, again, the very last one I passed through, you could probably stop it a little sooner. The purpose in doing that, though, is because if you don't stop it and you try to jump sooner than that, you might run into the flying enemy, and that's the most annoying thing. You could try to hammer the flying enemy, but that can be hard to do accurately as you jump over to the other side, so just be careful, again, to not die in like any manner possible here. But yeah, so you make it to 18, you're pretty much on the last level. After this, it's just a bonus, and the last bonus is pretty much just rigged. Like, we'll see when we get there. Let's go over to 18. I get over here. Don't worry about hammering the platform to get over here sooner. You water it 3 times, you wait, pass through it, hammer, wait, pass through it again, grab the strawberry. Careful. I'm goofing something here, I'm trying to remember what. So we're gonna wait, pass under it. Maybe I'm waiting too long. I'm definitely doing something. I'm probably waiting too long on, when I hammer underneath this. That's probably the deal. Pass under it, like, a little bit. I noticed there's, like, a lot of time. Yeah, that was it. Okay, yeah. Mind your timing, or your spacing. Yeah, I like to get under the plant, and then hammer, get under it, hammer. Yeah, basically do something like that, and let's see, we got a 57, I was looking for a 57, so that was pretty much perfect there. The funny thing with that stage was that the enemy to the right, all the way on the right after I got the strawberry, typically, I used to just water the plant to the left of that enemy all the way first before I went to the one on the right side. But I realized that makes it really dangerous because that enemy on the right side actually kind of gets in your way as you like try to hammer every time you go underneath it, like underneath the plant that is, and like, you know, try to water it. So that is going to be really, really dangerous. So I just go over there after watering the plant on the left, to the left of it once, and I knock it out of the way, and that eliminates pretty much all the rest that remains in the level, and as long as you don't fall somehow, you're going to be completely golden on 18. So yeah, not going to go back over that. Here we are in bonus 6. There's only one plant, there's no way to die, so you can't skip it, but you can just walk straight up to this just fine and just water it. And the timing ends for this run upon watering this plant for the 4th time. And, yep. You've helped Hello Kitty complete her flower garden. I don't know where she's at. This place is ridiculous. There's no flooring throughout like the entire second half of it. But we did it. We've done it. And hopefully you had a good time watering the plants along the way. But yeah, so that's Hello Kitty's flower garden. Hello Kitty no Ohanabatake. Or Batake. Speaking Japanese is not easy. Anyway, yeah. So I think that'll wrap this up for me. I hope that it helped you out. If there's any questions, then leave a comment and whatnot. Bye-bye!